Previously in X-Men. After months of being on their back foot, the X-Men are finally on the offensive, sneaking into the Manhattan headquarters of the mysterious HELLFIRE CLUB, who have been spying, gathering intel on the team of mutants for years. Each member is defeated by the HELLFIRE CLUB's inner circle, and Wolverine is left for dead deep within the sewers of New York City. And that was the inner circle's first mistake. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of Seven Comics. And this is our show, Previously in X-Men, where every Tuesday night we have the world's greatest ongoing classic X-Men live stream.
Yeah, we're the longest running X-Men Claremont and Byrne run walkthrough on YouTube in the history of the internet.
For sure, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And we are so excited today to be reading Uncanny X-Men 133. And this, of course, is episode 42 of our never-ending series, where we're going to hopefully cover, I guess, all 15 years of the Chris Claremont X-Men run to get a micro and macro view of his entire monumental run. So we hope everyone out there is doing great on this Tuesday night or whenever you happen to be watching this. I know that we are just catching up after not seeing each other for a while, and so I've missed you terribly, my friend. But more important than you, we got to say hello to Scott Chandler. How are you?
I'll take a backseat to Chandler.
Is this the issue where they all learn to get along? You know better. I think you're being facetious, if I had to take a guess. Would you agree, Chris, that Scott is being facetious?
I mean, sometimes I think so. Other times he just might not know. He's asking a genuine question about
he could be a dummy.
The fate of the X-Men. He could be a dum-dum.
Trevor, how are you doing? Thanks for the welcome back. We are both really, really happy to be here, no doubt. To me, my ex-friends. Nice to see you too, Jason. Hope you are well. I know that we're going to see Jason later this week. And we're going to see Scott later this week, if we can't avoid him, at Fan Expo Canada, which is going to be wonderful. And Trevor's got his drink. I know I've got mine. Chris, you drinking anything tonight?
Water. Do you ever watch that old SNL clip where it's Bill Murray and pure Lake Superior water?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, and it like oozes out. There's like pine needles in it.
Really? Oh, that sounds.
I was just in Lake Huron. I'm drinking water from a tap, likely from that lake. But yeah,
sure.
Cool Lake Huron water.
So Jason says he'll be here when we get to issue 250. I feel silly. I'm having trouble pulling that one out of my mental. Is that a Silvestri cover? Like a Fall of the Mutants.
I'm on the Googles.
I'm trying to picture what the 250 cover is. I have the 150 cover. I have the 200 in my head.
Ooh, it's wild.
What's the 250 cover?
It's okay. It says Polaris No More. Guest starring Kazar. All right, Kazar.
Or
Polaris
whatever.
No More. And so she's like someone. She's on her knees. And there's a woman behind her who's like got her hands on her face and like doing some weird like stuff. Oh wait, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of Uncanny 250. That's the X. That's Wolverine on the X, the cross.
No, that should be like 253 maybe. I don't know. You know what? I feel we shouldn't dive into this.
And that's two different Yeah, well, I'm not prepared. Clearly.
True.
Ridiculous.
Scott says there's no avoiding him. That he's in our dreams and nightmares.
He is. It's like Freddy Krueger.
And you're in this room with me, Scott, in many ways, right? There's a Scott Chandler piece right there. Yeah. There's a Scott Chandler piece right there, always in my ear. There's some.
Oh, you also have the Scott Chandler pinup calendar, but it's on the wall over there.
That's forward.
We blew that one up.
This is all those poses. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't remember. Hey, John, how are you? I don't remember the 250 cover. I can look in a second, but I'm distracted by the wonderful amount of folks in the chat and just trying to keep up with everyone and looking at Chris's whatever color eyes he has. That's where I'm at.
Oh, so many.
Yes, Scott is a very special X-Man. Is that? very special X-Man. Oh yes. Jason says he also he wasn't sure of the cover, but you're gonna watch until we get there. That's great. Yeah.
Thanks, pal.
I want to call her. Is it Lady Zaladane? Am I just making up the lady part? Or am I bringing that in from somewhere else? Zaladane is we'll get there. Let's just pace ourselves and let's get to 134. Ooh. We have to get through 133 first, right?
Yeah.
You're hoping to be retired.
Issue 250.
Yeah, I
hope. Do you want to do something in your retirement years? You can take over at issue 250.
Well, I was thinking about one of the things that, we keep. Yeah, Lady Zaladin sounds right too. I'm not sure. We'll get there. We'll leave that for the years down the road. I was thinking about these because we're doing these every week. Except for last week. So if anyone who showed up last week or was waiting around for it, I don't want to apologize because that implies we did something wrong. But I want to acknowledge that maybe you wanted to see an episode and we did not provide one. I was on vacation after, and I'm not going to exaggerate, but the active, for those of you who are comic book makers in the chat, when you're getting a book ready to print, the days leading up, there's a lot of work to do. And I had a vacation deadline of Monday morning last week. And over the weekend, and I don't remember anymore which nights it was, I pulled 2 all-nighters on the weekend. It was either Friday to Saturday and Saturday to Sunday.
I think so. Because I think you sent me a text about 4:50 in the morning.
It might have also been Sunday to Monday. I don't remember which days. But I was doing a lot to make sure I could have that thing sent off by Monday morning. And it didn't go off smoothly. So by Tuesday, I was on vacation. There just wasn't great Wi-Fi. I tried streaming a video and not obviously sharing it with y'all, but it's unwatchable. The signal keeps getting broken up, so it wasn't worth doing if we couldn't do it well. And when I say well, I mean the low bar of well, which is
adequate,
our comfort zone.
Adequate.
Yeah, for sure. So I was thinking about these. I've been calling them seasons in my head. These seasons of X-Men, and that first season seems to be about establishing, like the Dave Cockrum runs, the new status quo and putting the new X-Men through their old paces, like bringing in the Sentinels, bringing in Juggernaut, bringing in Magneto, putting them through a few
Black Tom Cassidy,
a few new characters, a few traditional, regular X-Men, then the cosmic thing, rebranding Phoenix, all that. Season 1. Season 2, Byrne's on board. There's that brief respite where they're in the mansion for a little while, and then pretty quickly there's a couple issues that are off the rails. And then they go on their odyssey. Like I would look at that second season as being like X-Men on the road. Like they are
road trip, Canada.
Road trip. They're brainwashed by Mesmero, kidnapped by Magneto, scrambling in the Savage Land, dealing with Sauron.
Holiday in Calgary.
And then you're skipping ahead. They get to Japan. Okay. Then they get to Calgary, and they get home, and then they're off to dealing with another set of problems. Then there's like Arcade, right? And now I think we're kind of in the beginning of season 3.
Oh, and Proteus.
Proteus is like Proteus. Now the stakes are higher, and we're starting to see signs of all the stuff with Jean and her mental flashbacks, which are not really flashbacks; they're illusions. They're starting to all happen as we're like ramping up into season 3, which is like the Dark Phoenix Saga. So it seems to be there are these kind of year-long, even though they're not really happening in real time with years, but you know what I mean. There are just a few of those larger arcs. When I look at it from a bit of a bird's eye, Trevor says it was fine. I just sat in a corner staring at a wall for 2 hours. So did I. No Wi-Fi. So did I. Yeah, for sure. That was, I'm whimpering and muttering in an Irish accent.
Well, Trevor, my friend, you're in for a treat in X-Men issue 133.
Yes, we get all the things we're looking for in this issue. It is a very exciting thing. I'm very happy about it. Did you have a good week, by the way, Chris?
I had a great week. It's been busy for me, like work wise. But it's kind of now led to getting our next book out, and then we got Fan Expo, and then then I'm on vacation from work for about a week and a half. So. And then school starts, so it's good. It's been a nice wind down, and I'm super excited to wind these days down, then ramp them back up with Fan Expo and do comics, fun stuff,
Yeah.
and talk about our new comic, which is right there, Peregrines Part 2. Yeah, no, it's been busy, but I'm so happy. So much got done. So now it's just time to enjoy, you know?
Yes. Yeah. I also had a good busy week last week up in the Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park with my family and my brother, who I had not seen. Whoa. Obviously, here. The dog doesn't like my brother.
So 2 dogs. Yeah, well, first of all, Ryan, everybody hates Ryan. Second of all, heard that first YouTube. I got my dog and I got my parents. I'm surrounded by Labradors right now. So
wow. Well, I was gonna say that it was the first time I'd spent I'd been under the same roof as my brother for like multiple days in a row for over 25 years. We had not shared a roof.
That's wild.
For a night. So we had 4 nights together last week with my family, and it was just awesome.
And you kept like showing him like, look what I'm drawing. He's like, I don't care.
Oh, I didn't draw at all, really. I needed to like unwind, so I needed to not draw.
It's good. Sounds like you did that.
I was doing other stuff. So
excellent.
It was good. Yeah.
Excellent.
So today we are looking at 133, and this is another of those amazing, iconic, classic issues by the team of Claremont, Byrne, Austin on all those storytelling duties, right? I mean, everything about the work that they did was just phenomenal. And for collectors out there, this one is not, I don't find it hard to come by, but it's hard to come by cheap, as prices have escalated so much in the last few years. I would have picked it up in a second as a youngster when these issues were somewhere between $15 and $30. And now I'm not able to continue buying them. So luckily I have my classic with the Steve Lytle cover. I really did enjoy his covers as a youngster, and I still do today. They're like compositional things I wouldn't do. Like I try and avoid like having the outlines on the character. I'd rather have something in the composition that highlights the character in that spot. Like the way you see in like Mike Mignola work. He always finds creative ways to put something behind a guy. If you want to put them in black, you find another way to if you want to have black on the character like that, you find something else to illuminate the space behind them. But I think it's dramatic and it's exciting. There's this one guy in the corner who's just pissing his pants.
His name is Angelo.
Right, and we've of course noticed, and those of you who've been with us along the way, Claremont is obsessed with naming supporting characters.
We gotta work that into our comics. I just feel like we always have, we have so many instances in our comics. There are a couple of goons kind of talking to each other, doing whatever, moving the story along. I just never give them names. We just gotta Claremont the shit out of that.
I agree with you, even if it's just in the script.
Even if it's just in the script.
Exactly. I love the idea that they have names, and it just does give. Especially when, with our book taking place in 1917, obviously there is a lot of migration in the world always, but the waves of migration are historically different than they are right now. And when you get a name that doesn't seem to match a region, like, oh, how did that family get? Like, if you name it interestingly, it's a whole story in just the name of the guy.
Right.
So I find that really, really exciting as a thing to read in the next script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
For you to work on.
Noted.
I want you to name all the extras. And I'll tell you, as an illustrator, it actually does help me because, I mean, in the last issue, there was a scene where I had a room full of, I don't know, 7 people.
Yeah.
And only 2 of them had names and 2 of them had personalities. The rest were just like, oh, just make it up. And I'm like, I don't know.
Use your imagination.
Which of course I can do, but there's a number of decisions to be made. So it's not necessarily a problem. It also gives you creative freedom. But for the fun of it, it can be a really great way to add in another layer into what comes out in the drawing by what goes in the script as well. And that's not a criticism. It's just a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great cover. Can we talk
I hear you.
Can we talk about the design of these guys?
I was just about to bring that up.
Please do. You go first.
So yeah, like I guess I think so. A couple of issues ago, when we were talking about Hellfire Club, I think I raised it. I said, "Do these guys have a name?" You know, and someone said Pawns, maybe.
I think that was me that said Pawns.
Okay, so
In my head,
let's go with Pawns.
Sure.
Go with Pawns.
Okay.
They look great. Like I think. Okay.
No, please continue.
Okay, so for me, the colors work for me. It's simple yet uniform. Like that's fine. But the mask, which I don't know where the inspiration comes from, like a Punch and Judy show, like a puppeteer,
Right.
and it's got the cutouts for the mouth, so it's like behind like not armor, but it's behind the face is behind a face. I don't know. It works for me as a goon ensemble.
Right. I feel the opposite in a lot of ways than you. I find them to be uninspired. I think that the color scheme is boring.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they need to stand out. And if you're going to be focusing on Wolverine as your protagonist and they are the antagonist, then yes, this coloring works because you can't mistake one character for the other. Like he doesn't blend into them, which is key. So that works.
Mm-hmm.
I find that after reading, I guess Byrne comics over my lifetime, this seems to be like a default design that he would follow.
Okay.
Like Omega Flight basically wears not Omega Flight. Beta Gamma and Beta Flight or the trainees when they show them.
Yeah.
They wear that same color scheme.
Interesting. Didn't know
but
that.
Not the mask, obviously. So I'm trying to leave the mask out of this for a minute.
Okay.
I find the costume part really, really boring. Gotcha. I should say the uniform part really boring. That face, though, the creepy element is there.
Right.
Like there's something about this faceless.
Like there's expression going on behind the face, and there's no expression in the face.
I'm all in for that. And then from a drawing point of view, he draws the heads and faces at normal size, which is fine. Like you get a pass on that. It's not a big deal. But of course, if you put a mask on your head in front of your face, it needs to be bigger than your face and larger than your head. So it's the same thing.
Right.
When you draw skulls, they need to shrink a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the flesh on them.
It's also kind of got like a fleshy skin mask on top of a flesh skin mask.
So other artists have obviously done things similar to varying effects. I want to just bring up like Professor Pig. If you've ever read Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley's, they're as a duo, their short run on Batman and Robin.
Okay.
Where Professor Pig is sort of introduced.
And it's PYG, right?
It's PYG, and he like steams, cooks faces onto faces, and they are so creepy. I mean, Quietly can draw just about anything. He's an amazing renderer. Sure. He really sells it. These faces on top of faces, these lifeless, peel off fleshy faces on top of a suffering person underneath. It really, really works. These ones I just find like I just find them, like I said, uninspired is I guess the word I'm going to use. I'm going to stay with it. And I'm glad you like them. And since Kevin is here, hello, they're toying around just to bring this to action figures. The figures of these came out, and because I find the design uninspired, I also found the figure to be uninspired. And I passed on them. It was like a troop builder from Hasbro Pulse. I did not get them. I think Kevin, you did. Jason says they're pre-eyes wide shut masks. Yeah, and the eyes wide shut masks are just a little creepier, right? There is something about it. I like the idea of it. I just don't think that it's.
They remind me of in terms of like the closest pop culture thing I could think of is Shy Guys in Mario, all the Mario games. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
If anyone understands, they're like little guys who, they're little villains who try to get in Mario and Luigi's way, but they have little masks that they wear, which kind of look like miniature Jason hockey masks, I suppose the
Right.
best way to put it. But they always make me think of this as well.
Right. I mean,
I was trying to think like what was Byrne's, and so if the Beta Flight thing is after this timeline for his, like what is the inspiration behind these guys? I just like the mask thing. I'm trying to. Is it from someplace? That's all. I mean, we probably don't have the answer, but all right, Kev knows, shy guy. But anyway,
I gotta say, I think it is Gamma Flight. By the way, I'm
Gamma
Beta.
Flight. Okay.
If my memory serves, the image of Beta was Puck and Marina, and they were in their regular costumes.
Right.
I don't remember who else was there. Maybe Roger Box.
Right.
But the Gamma one was like Madison Jeffries, Wild Child, Diamond Lil, all like, and the drawing is like a fourth of a page. So they were little figures, but anyway, it was Gamma. Anyway, uninspired. Okay,
all right,
but I get that there. I take in like the intention, and so I'm creeped out by them. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Let's
full screen this thing right away.
What an opening page.
So, if anyone doesn't remember, Wolverine was. His weight was artificially, weight and mass was, artificially increased by the mutant powers of Leland. And Wolverine, then like the floor collapsed underneath him, and he continued to go down into the sewers underneath the Hellfire Club. And they all believed he was dead as the sewer. There was like a flash flood, and he was washed away. So and the other X-Men are all captured. Yeah, there you go.
That is, again, I opened this up for the very first time in my life the other day because I have not read these issues before, and wow, and I love it because it's Secret Agent Wolverine.
Yeah,
right. That's what really drives me. As we learn more about this character and as his character evolves during this run, and we get more of the backstory, we keep getting snippets of Secret Agent Wolverine, and it feels like that version of Wolverine, the Secret Agent Wolverine. I know it comes back and manifests itself in different ways, but not necessarily in the popular version of Wolverine. So it's fun to see it.
Yes, agreed. As well, this is the first. I should have said this with the cover. This is the first cover that is a solo Wolverine cover. This might also be the first solo X-Men cover that we've covered in this run, where there's only one X-Men on the cover. But this is the first Wolverine cover of all time. Like, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
And this becomes, of course, a mainstay of Marvel Comics for the next 40 some odd years. Right. Wolverine on the cover of a comic book, right? That his presence on the cover of a book as the main figure is a selling point. So it's kind of neat to see it for the first time where he is the lead. At the same time, one of the things you said about him, like Secret Agent Wolverine, this is also no longer reactionary Wolverine. It's proactive Wolverine. And there's something I always love about, heroes going through their daily life. Things happen. They're on the back foot, as I said before, and then they reposition and they go on the front foot. And I love it. I love the hero with agency who's got a chip on their shoulder and whatever other metaphor you want to bring in about, a burr under their saddle, whatever, it doesn't matter. I love it when he's got a bone to grind. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Bone to pick, axe to grind. I think you combined axe to grind and bone to pick.
Well, he grinds bones. That's what
he also does grind bone.
He's a bone grinder.
Isn't Bone Crusher one of the guys?
Yeah, Bone Crusher is loosely connected to actually the characters in the room as we speak. All right.
Circle gets a square. Exactly.
By the way, Bone Grinder is my new dating app.
It is. Bone Grinder is the app you just developed. It's available at Fan Expo.
Oh my gosh. All right. Our story opens in a sub-basement far below New York's legendary Hellfire Club. Hair to shave, teeth to brush. Yes. Too many things. I'm mixing all my metaphors. I'm tired, my friends. The masked uniformed men with the guns.
My fault.
Okay,
That's all right.
good. Are part of an elite mercenary cadre employed by the ultra-secret inner circle of that club. They're killers, pure and simple, believed to be the best in the world. I love it.
Man, this is silly. We've been searching these basements for over an hour, hunting a mutie who's probably dead. Wolverine went into a storm sewer, right? It's all right. I'm squinting a bit. I read, right? Question mark? No. It was like a flash flood down here. If the fall didn't kill him, the water had to. We're wasting our time.
Love it. And I love it. Okay, so we got 4 guys there. Wolverine in position to kill.
And I do love, the title on the box with the guy's hand, right? That's super cool.
And also, I mean, there's the joke of like that arrow. Oh, sorry, shit. It's not in yours. It's in mine. You got credits there. In Classic X-Men, they've taken out the credits from that spot, put it on, of course, the frontispiece and inside front cover. And then in that spot, there's just like the spray painted on label of Up. And the arrow is pointing straight up.
That's kind of Wolverine.
Funny. It's great. It's a directional.
That's a good gag. It is a
good gag, right? Because like this side up,
totally,
it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Fragile. That must be Italian.
The dating app for serial killers. Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to make it. Might as well be Jason. All right. And even if he did survive, so what? The inner circle's captured the rest of the X-Men. Wolverine's just one man. How much damage can he do? Huh? Water? There ain't no pipes in here. How come we got a leak? Murray, all of you, the ceiling!
Surprise! The mercenaries react with desperate, deadly speed.
Angelo, he's coming for you.
It doesn't save them. Neither does their skill. And we got to stop for a second, unfortunately. Like, Wolverine just gashed through a human being. Like, neck out the ribs of the other side. Like, this guy is almost cut. Like, he's gashed open.
Oh, yeah.
This is a dead person.
Yeah, that person's dead.
They're totally dead. And we haven't seen that before. Wolverine just cuts a person open. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
get that. We got great, a little. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the great coloring choice. It's not even like a clever coloring choice. It's sort of like the default. You're not going to show blood, but you don't need to. You just color the whole thing in those red colors. I mean, there's a couple shades of red there.
Right.
And just go with that monochromatic color scheme in red, and it does the job completely.
And you look at that across the 2-page spread, and where else the red comes through, and it's clear what's happening.
Yeah, you got to love the idea of it as a 2-page spread.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you just have the red panels, how they balance each other, right? It's a fantastic, fantastic page. It is so hard to. Jason says they're faceless, so it's okay. Like it's almost like they're robots. Yeah. I can't read these.
They have names, Jason. They had names, Jason.
Once he calls them Murray and Angelo, like you can't take it seriously.
No, you can't.
You would figure that these guys also give each other code names. It's such a bro thing to do if you're part of some sort of elite fighting squad that you call each other, Recoil and
safe word. Other names like that.
Your name is Safe Word? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm not gonna let that one go. That's too good.
Thank you.
I'm calling you that from now on.
Perfect.
Angelo's mom wanted so much more for him. I find it just so distracting that they have these names and they say them in these. Angelo is coming for you.
Hurry.
Dude.
Days from retirement.
Yes. Mendoza.
David Mendoza.
Wolverine. And then, just as we're about to read this next bit of Claremont narration,
yes,
there is only so much they can show in a possibly 17-page story. And when I read this, a lot happens between the panels. A lot of action happens here. And I like that we're only going to get so much action, but in my imagination, a lot more happened that adds to the experience of reading this. So Claremont continues here. He says, Wolverine never stops, never slows, each move blending into the next in a frightening display of destruction. He's doing what he does best and having the time of his life. And I'm just imagining this guy moving, like the most graceful athlete, murdering these guys. I mean, in my head, there's more than 4 as well. And he's just flowing from one death blow to another. I think it's just great. And this also might be the first time that I think it is the first time that we've heard the phrase, doing what he does best, like that.
Yeah.
Catchphrase or slogan that goes with Wolverine from this point on about that he's the best there is at what he does.
Exactly. I also like the setup of how much damage can he do? Like the setup. Oh, let's show you over 4 pages. But it's a great setup line,
Oh,
it's
totally.
almost like we're watching live theater and the audience is like, and he's winking at the audience, how much damage can he do? Huh? Oh,
Right.
It turns out you're all dead. Exactly.
And then here's another first for Wolverine. You ready?
Okay.
Way to go. I've been in better rough houses. The odds here are only 3-1. Make that 2-1, but I ain't complaining. These twerps are just small fry, though. The ones I want are their bosses.
Got him.
He's down, Cole. And he ain't moving. Is he?
I don't know. Stay back and cover me. I'm positive I hit Wolverine dead center. By what I've seen tonight, I'm taking no chances. By the way, I like we get the classic butta butta. Butta butta machine gun sound effect.
A machine gun.
I don't think we get that enough. So I think we've put it into our comics a couple of times. I always feel happy when I see it.
So by the way, Cole is a character that comes back.
Okay.
Like he's one of the Reavers.
He's one of the Reavers.
I have an action figure of Cole.
Okay.
Blast. I'll have to shift some of these crates to get a clear shot. That's bringing me a lot closer to Wolverine than I had in mind.
Is that Rosen?
Yep.
Okay, stay alert, Rosen. If he blinks an eye, kill him. Hey, you know what, buddy? I think the little run is dead.
Your mistake, bub. The little runt lives. Which is more than I can say for you.
No!
So there's Rosen, Cole, Angelo,
Murray. Murray. Makes you think of like Murray from Flight of the Conchords.
Oh my god. So this is, clearly Wolverine made use of his healing factor here.
Yes.
And this is the first time in comics history that Wolverine has made dramatic in-panel and sudden use of his healing factor. It's one thing to get punched into orbit and we see him heal over pages and pages.
Right, and he even has a sling on.
Yeah, right. They bandaged him up. And other times he recovers, but this was like an instantaneous gunshot to the midsection and up and killing by the end of the page. So this is like the first, like I said, the first time they've flexed his healing factor during the story so dramatically. It's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. Yeah, so there you go, Rosen and Cole, Murray, and Angelo.
I think.
So we said 4.
I think Rosen's still standing, right? He's the guy who was standing back a bit. Yeah, he's got it. He's here.
Yeah. Cole just bought it.
Yes.
Cole just bought it.
That was close. Almost too close. If I hadn't spun away when this guy fired, his burst would have cut me in 2 instead of simply creasing my side. Only one goon left. Probably.
Don't move, fella.
He's scared. Can't say I blame him either. Let's see if I can make him feel worse. Hey, bub. You're looking mighty cute in them jeans. Hey, bub.
The name's safe word.
Yeah, you ever go on Bone Crusher, bub?
Oh, no, here we go.
Hey, bub. I know what you're thinking. He's hurt. He's 5 meters away. Good Canadian, speaking in metric. Way to go. He's hurt. 5 meters away from me, and I got a full clip of ammo in my rifle. Question is, can I kill Wolverine before he can reach me and cut me into shish kebab with those freaky claws of his? Well, bub, Wolverine is virtually unkillable. Wolverine talks about himself in third person.
All the time.
He finds it more erotic. Wolverine's claws are adamantium. the strongest metal known, capable of slicing through vanadium.
Vanadium steel.
Vanadium.
Do you know what vanadium steel is, bub?
No.
Don't ask.
It's like, you like gladiator movies, Billy. Capable of slicing through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter. And 5 meters of floor ain't much distance at all for me. It's your play, hero. I'm waiting. He drops the gun like a smart fool. Shoot. I was hoping you'd go for it.
What are you doing? Stay back. I give up. I surrender. No, please. No.
Bob, the name's Murray.
My mom called me Murray.
I've mellowed, Wolverine thinks to himself. I've mellowed some since joining the X-Men. In the old days, I wouldn't have given this punk a choice. Be cool, bub. I ain't gonna kill you. I ain't even gonna hurt you. Provided you tell me all there is to know about the Hellfire Club hotshots who clobber the X-Men.
And the location of the Bermuda Triangle.
So on that note...
It does say, on that note, what a transition.
Let's shift our scene to an upstairs library where we find the self-same... Hey, I don't think I've ever heard that phrase, self-same.
No.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe it's self-same.
No.
Self-same?
Oh, yeah, maybe you're pronouncing it incorrectly, yeah.
Where we find those self-same X-Men, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, and Cyclops, chained and helpless. Their mutant powers completely neutralized by inhibitor fields built into their manacles. Can we forever stop using inhibitor fields? Who developed mutant inhibitor field technology? And was it Reed Richards? And should he pay for this? Like,
right? Is that right?
They put these collars. I mean, and so we see it in movies now too. They put collars and cuffs on people, and it somehow inhibits their powers. I don't get it. I don't like it as a plot device. I don't know if anyone else has any feelings about mutant power inhibitor fields. I just find it to be too much of a catch-all. Like it. I guess if you do have characters that are
we've seen
extraordinary, it's hard to
we've seen so far in this run. So Hellfire Club uses them. We've seen Magneto use them. We've seen that dude who ran the space program, those first issues.
Yeah, Corbin
used them. Is he one? Yeah, there you go. So that's at least 3 cases in the issues we've looked at that have used.
Like Sentinels use them all the time.
Sentinels, right?
Yeah, White Queen. It's just no more mutant inhibitor field devices. Like, how does that work? How does the field cancel out your mutant powers? Like an energy field? I don't know. Any scientists in the chat? Any wannabe scientists in the chat?
Any mutants? Lemon tree, safe word. That's a great squad. That's Alpha Squad.
Yes. Their captors call themselves the Inner Circle of the Hellfire Club, and they form the Rotten Core. Hey, the narrator is supposed to be a little bit more unbiased. Calling them rotten is loaded. The Rotten Core of a perfectly legitimate, respectable, legendary, masochistic, chauvinistic New York institution. They're an exclusive, ultra-secret cabal, a club within the club. For those of you who do not know the word cabal, dedicated to the acquisition of power for its members. Among those members, the Black Queen, Jean Grey, once an X-Men like last issue, until she was psychically seduced by the enemy camp, into the enemy camp by Jason Wingard, a man better known to us, the readers, as Mastermind, mutant master of illusion. The chairman of the Inner Circle is Sebastian Shaw, also a mutant. Beside him stand Leland and Pierce, One a mutant, the other a cyborg, part human, part robot.
Rubbish.
By the way, speaking of Shaw,
Oh yeah.
I went to go see a movie today.
Oh,
And
okay.
I went to go see Top Gun Maverick
Okay.
with my son. Tons of fun. Tons of fun. Had a great time.
Okay.
And there was a trailer for Jaws, which is coming into IMAX theaters in September.
Okay.
And so Robert Shaw, the actor, was in it. And he started into his monologue about the cold, dead eyes. And I was just thinking about, obviously, him and us and this book. And yeah, Jaws is awesome. That's really what I'm trying to say. Good movie.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Not a movie to watch on your phone, Kevin. If you're still here. I have a hunch you've switched the page.
I did. Did I not?
Shown up in my version of it. Okay, I'll start. Oh,
it's online. There you go.
There we go. Congratulations, Wingard. We have done well tonight. So I'm not going to go through all of it because there's a lot here. He basically is just talking about how Wingard is arrogant, and because he feels that he controls the Black Queen, that he's going to try and make a bid for power of the entire thing, and Shaw's he's ready for him. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I do want to hear though,
Jason Wingard,
and this is a good kiss. Like that's a good.
It's a solid kiss.
Yeah.
All right. Despite his pleasant words, Shaw suspects me, but I will deal with him, and far sooner than he expects. For the moment, however, I intend to fully enjoy the fruits of my victory.
Oh my goodness.
He's
such a gross rapist. There was a good episode of Star Trek also, like Next Generation, where there was a character who was like psychically assaulting and raping people.
Ugh.
And yeah, no, but it was dramatic, right? It was
sure.
It was a way to have the conversations about abuses of power in a sci-fi setting that gets the conversation going. It was an interesting one, and how the characters felt so violated. And this is he's so gross.
He is.
Now I'm wondering, as a voice actor, which you are now able to add to your credits,
sure, yeah,
do you have a secondary voice for Mastermind in his other guys?
Well, he's definitely not as good looking, so right. He's kind of like hunchbacky, and I mean almost kind of Igor like. But I don't know. I don't know what his. But he's kind of right. He kind of gives off that kind of. He should have a monster cereal named after him. Kind of.
He also has like the Tobey Maguire emo Spider-Man, emo Peter Parker haircut.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's all like greasy and stuck to his head.
And
or like, if anyone can remember, what was the name of the brother in the like? Oh, this is so hard to do. In Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah.
There's the painter brother.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Anyway, but he has that hair that sort of stuck to his head, so he does come up with something along those lines that
Yeah, it's kind of greasy and gross.
Yeah, greasy and gross. But I wonder if his voice changes when his image
when he's not the dashing Jason Wingard.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, as a voice actor, I would suggest that that'd be a good idea to mix it up, right? Because you're really just trying to get at the heart of these characters and and finding their voices that you can bring to the audience.
All right, ready for some Peter?
Oh yeah. All right. Do you want to read that last little narration or no?
Okay, sure.
I mean,
Wingard and the Black Queen embrace like long-lost lovers. When they finally part, Jean's eyes are lit with a cruel, wanton passion she's never shown before.
Storm, all of you, I do not understand. In my heart, I know that is Jean Grey.
Yet she isn't Colossus.
What have they done to her?
And then Cyclops, who is encased in a ruby quartz helmet, thinks he's not able to speak aloud. He thinks, if I could speak, Nightcrawler, I'd tell you. Thanks to Mastermind, Jean believes she's physically shifting in time, reliving the life of a 19th century ancestor. Everything she sees, including us, is in terms of the 1700s. This ancestor, Lady Jean Grey, wife of Sir Jason Wingard, knows nothing of the X-Men. Her allegiance is to the Hellfire Club. If they ask her to kill us, I have a nasty feeling she'll do it without a second thought. Do you want to read Jean?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I expected better of you. In all the years you have been my slave, I have never mistreated you.
Slave?
I trusted you only to see that trust betrayed.
Goddess, such evil in Jean's voice.
Is this what you want, beauty? What is that? Kiev?
Yeah,
No.
keys.
Keys, sorry. I get so
The print is hard to follow.
The keys that will free you and your companions?
Beauty. The English translation of my real name, Aurora. Jean has made it an insult. She's taunting me, flaunting my headdress and lockpicks. Jean, hear me. We're friends.
Silence! You dare speak to me, slave? I am not your friend, but your mistress. Let her alone, curse you. Because I guess that's Nightcrawler.
Sure.
I own you. And as my right, mine will be the hand that ends your worthless existence.
She gives her a real hard backhand
This
smack.
is
with
like
whip
a whole
across the face.
next level thing. This with the slavery piece.
Oh yeah, it doesn't age well
Whew.
at all. But if we're just going to go back in context and not think about how it doesn't age well, just thinking about the dramatic stakes, it really adds something.
Well,
it shows how far
villainy
away,
of the
and how far removed Jean is from her former self. Right? She's roommates. She's not roommates with Storm, but they become really close. In the previous seasons, so to speak, and for her to obviously not recognize Aurora as her best buddy and to see her as property she owns just goes to show how far she has descended into this new role as the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. Just awful. And at the same time, like whatever power grab, it adds to, I guess, my childhood understanding of power grab mentality. Like if you want power, you're putting yourself ahead of others, and you're willing to objectify and subjectify other people for the sake of your own gain, and that's evil. Like wanting power is evil. Like Vader and the Emperor, it's evil to want to rule, and to be wary of anyone who wants those things. Like that's part of my childhood bias with all these different texts I've come across. It's like, well, those who seek power are going to be evil eventually if they're not already. Yeah, pretty dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting to see how Byrne also renders her differently, whether she's in the slave illusion or her normal self. Like just to talk, face, the eyelashes and the nose are like the two really prominent.
That is interesting, actually.
So Byrne draws her with. I mean, you could change. We can talk.
Does he do that to Colossus?
No, because I would argue that Byrne is probably drawing from a Eurocentric perspective.
Sure.
Where Peter is not othered in the way he's drawn.
Right.
And the Western concepts of race, he's drawing Storm in her superhero version. I think it's mostly the color that tells the reader that she's of African descent, as opposed to his line. But in the case of her in her slave illusion, the line is doing the work as well as the clothing. But he's broadened her nose.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And she looks more realistic and less objectified. even though she's treated as an object, I mean, like, not as a sex object, the way that Aurora is in regular X-Men.
Right.
It's interesting. And like if someone was to do a race analysis of 80s comics and looking at the portrayal, this would be an interesting example just to talk about for a bit. Not necessarily in the spirit of this show, but an interesting conversation nonetheless. Trevor says, it bothers me that Peter's garb colors are reversed from his uniform. So are you saying that you would have preferred it if his shirt had been yellow and then his vest would be red? Yeah, that probably isn't a Byrne decision. It's probably the colorist, right? Who makes that call. But I like the fact that it's included to some degree, that like there is a remnants of his uniform, or I shouldn't say uniform because he's the only one who wears it. It's not that they all wear one uniform. His costume. It's Glynis Oliver on colors. Are you saying that you wish they were the other way? And I like that Cyclops also has like X-Men colors on.
Yeah, he's got the traditional. Right.
I kind of like when there's a little bit of an equivalency between the illusion and the real. You just play a little bit, but yeah, that's where I guess the colorist gets to play around and make a choice. Yeah, Curtis is white, totally. I mean, it's the German in him and the Errol Flynn stuff, and I guess he's used the.
That's what I was thinking. It's that Tony Stark gave him that
right.
image
inducer.
Inducer.
Yes.
Stark Industry image inducer.
Yes. I mean, if you're going to be talking about othering people, I mean, Kurt is the most dramatically other of all the characters in the team, right? Like, he doesn't even look like he's human. And of course, it later becomes continuity that he's like half demon. So.
Oh, does it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't mind talking about this for a minute. It does derail a little bit, but it's okay. There was just like a fan response to in later issues. We're going to see a moment where Mystique is in disguise as Nightcrawler, and it just became the thing that little kids talked, and like I guess teenagers, we talked about for a long time, that they're somehow connected, because in the moment that when we see her reveal that she's Mystique, and she's in the scene drawn as half Nightcrawler and half Mystique, everyone was like, "Oh, they're connected somehow. Maybe she's his mom. Maybe it's his sister." Like,
oh, right, I remember that piece.
One of those things where fans talked about something so much that it later became continuity. But I always found it weak, truthfully. Like, and that it was like a retcon that they made her his mother. It tied up all too neatly. And then Azazel the demon is his father.
Right, from X-Men First Class.
That's how you and I first would come across that character, yes. But he was in comics as well.
Okay.
But again, just can't a thing just be a thing? Can't he just be Kurt Wagner of the Wagners? And his parents were people in, Bavaria or wherever in Germany, and that's just where he comes from. It doesn't have to be connected to every generation, doesn't have to have a connection. Like, they did this also, and they did this in movies a lot, and I just find it lazy. Like as a substitute for real story. So in X-Men Apocalypse, since we're talking about that second generation of X-Men movies now, with pleasure, by the way, there's a scene where Professor X, with a full head of 80s hair, is on the slab getting Apocalypse's mind and power transferred into his body, and the process makes him lose his hair.
Yes.
Like, can't a bald guy just be a guy who's bald? Is there have to be a cause, like some sort of supernatural cause for his baldness? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not everything needs to be connected. On the cartoon, they did the same thing. They had it so that Rogue, of course, is like the adopted daughter of Mystique. Nightcrawler is her daughter by blood, or genetics, by birth. And Victor Creed also is mated with her, and they made that villain who was always trying to hunt down the mutants, as the Human Liberation Front or whatever they were called on the cartoon, was Victor Creed, was the son. Like, they just had to connect everybody. right?
Which one was Victor Creed again?
Oh, Sabretooth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you're saying Jason's like Ray in Star Wars, how they had to connect everything? Yeah, it's just lazy.
Ray Star
Uninspired.
Wars.
Yeah, we could go into that for hours and hours. I just think that sometimes things can be their own things. They don't have to always be connected. That brings us back to Nightcrawler and his lineage. So he appears white, I think, just because he's of European descent. But it's Mastermind's choice, right? Like he's working with Jean's mind to flesh out the reality that she's in. Papa Smurf was his father. That's the truth. That's his real dad was Papa Smurf. You're right. All right. So
also Cyclops, I love how they have an entire ruby quartz helmet for him to wear.
Well, we know that we've been watching for months and months. They've been spying on the X-Men.
It's a GIMP helmet. This is what I wrote down. Cyclops the GIMP.
Okay, this is actually going to come out in the story in a moment, so we'll keep going here.
Can't wait.
If only I could see. Locked inside this ruby quartz helmet, I can only guess at what's going on. The helmet may neutralize my optic blasts, but not my brain. I can't physically act, but I can think. I remember, we pronounce this Butte, right?
Butte, yeah.
Okay, good. I remember the Butte near Angels, Arizona home a week ago. Jean was telling me about her time slips and recent dramatic upsurges in her power as Phoenix. That frightened her, and me too, and yet it fascinated her as well. There was a love scene. Remember that love scene?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it lasted a week. Do you remember? It said it literally ended, and then it said a week later. We were like, "Whoa!"
It's weird having your psychokinetic talent hold back the power of my optic blasts.
I wanted to see your face, all of your face.
Disappointed. Oh yes, that is his bone grinder profile shot in the GIMP mask. Oh okay, no. Bone grinder.
I'm experiencing some tech difficulties on
it's all you take your time, and if we need to, I have a copy here I can hold up and we can do it old-fashioned way. Is it just not turning over for you?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure, and then I clicked on it and now it's giving me the spinning wheel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
right, we'll be here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
We get the rounded panel. Oh, the Star Trek toys.
Here we go.
We get those rounded panel borders telling us, of course, that this is in the past. Exactly. And reading this as a kid, like when I'm trying to remember, I put the two scenes together. Like I thought back when we were reading last issue that we were going to hear this part of dialogue and see this vignette. But of course, it was spread out over multiple issues, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, it is.
The Ruby. That is his name. That's terrible. All right.
No, Scott, I'd like to establish a permanent rapport, a psychic bond between us. Part of me in your head, part of you in mine. I know I'm asking a lot. Total sharing, total intimacy, and total trust. I'll understand if you say no.
I say yes. That personal, private rapport still exists. With luck, it could become the key to our busting out of this mess.
I trust you've learned your lesson, Beauty. Defy me and the Hellfire Club at your peril.
And in this drawing, her eyes are shut as she's like reeling from being smacked, and her face has a gash in it.
He's a Colossus, man. He is like...
Oh, yeah.
No?
Well, he is such a sweetheart, right?
He really is.
In a mean way.
Which is why it's so much fun when he does let out and let go.
Oh, yeah.
He, Jean, my dear friend, whoever is responsible for transforming you into the Black Queen will pay whatever it costs, however long it takes. This Nightcrawler spares. Herr Shaw, pardon my asking, but why are we X-Men still alive?
There's no profit in simply killing you, Herr Wagner.
You know my name?
Among other things. Superpowered mutants are becoming commonplace in the world. If my associates and I... Sorry, my just pushed the button there. Sorry. I leaned in too far to the microphone for this voice. I like pressed all the buttons on my keyboard. If my associates and I can isolate the genetic quirk that created us and then custom build through genetic engineering mutants at will, the possibilities are limitless. In that quest, Nightcrawler, you X-Men will be our guinea pigs. You know, in a sense, it would have been better for you. It would have been better for you if we had killed you. And I like this whole, like, they're mutants and they want to experiment and hurt mutants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes them even creepier. And it ties nicely to, the movie Logan, right? Where the character Pierce is hunting him down. And that's the character loosely. Do you remember those guys that were hunting him?
Yeah, were they called Reavers in the...
No, I don't remember if they're ever...
But they were like genetically enhanced with cybernetic.
They were cybernetically enhanced.
Yes,
and Pierce was the blonde who had been hunting him the whole movie. And that's
one of the Skarsgård kids.
No, actually, he's not a Skarsgård.
Oh, sorry. No, that he was one of the Skarsgård.
How could you mix up people?
I don't know. I thought, isn't there like 6 Skarsgårds? I don't know. They just keep popping up.
60. He is the same actor who plays. He's in Sandman. Have you watched that yet?
Not yet. But is he like the Nightmare? Not. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In Logan, yes. Yeah. It's Pierce. So are they called Reavers? I don't remember. That might be what Jason is responding to, but definitely. So he is in the movie, and it is a different interpretation of Pierce. You know, like I always with these guys imagine them slightly, aristocratic and possibly. I don't know what accent I had in my head about. I mean, you gave me an Aussie accent, didn't you, or a British?
I gave Pierce the Jason Statham accent.
The Jason Statham. So in Sandman, he plays the Corinthian. Thank you, Jason. That's very helpful. And in the movie, he's sort of in Logan. He's played as American with a rural accent, Southern rural style.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a drawl to him.
Yeah, he just doesn't have like that fancy side to him that he has when he's part of the inner circle.
No, that like West, like the Hamptons kind of like old blue blood East Coast money.
Yes,
type thing. Yeah, no.
All right. So this is for you. These pages were put in just for you. Interlude. It's dawn over Muir Isle. And for once, the sea is calm around this foreboding barren rock located just north of Scotland's Cape Wrath, all of 500 miles below the Arctic Circle. By the way, it's really cool to think about how north those tiny islands go in the north of Scotland. Just point that out there. It's really neat to look at a map, go on Google Earth, and just take a look and see how close Scotland is to Iceland at times. Anyway, moving on. He loves to do this kind of stuff, by the way. Like Claremont loves these long narration parts, and they're beautiful. In many ways, the island mirrors the persona of the woman who owns it. Remote, beautiful, elemental, unyielding. When she first arrived here, and for too many years after that, Moira McTaggart lived alone. Now, her hermitage is over. She has someone to share her work and her life. Someone she loves and who loves her. His name is Sean Cassidy. And as the Banshee, he used to be an X-Man. Now he's only a man. And he is content.
Now he's on it. No, here we go. Ready? It's been a while. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Right on in Moira's office. She's been up all night again. It says Banshee. Oh, it has a little thing there. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get her. Oh God, damn it! Sorry. Get her the rest. But for the last few days, she's been driving herself harder than ever. Moira, darling, feel up for a jog around the island?
Dreadful thought.
What you fool about then?
The spirit is willing, my love. but the flesh is beat.
You trouble, lass. Want to talk?
I just finished processing the data scans Professor Xavier made of Jean in New York.
Bad news.
Sean Love, as Phoenix, Jean realized her ultimate potential as a Psi. She possessed the power of a god, but only the experience and awareness of a young woman. She couldn't cope with the totality of power. I doubt anyone on Earth could. To protect herself, to protect itself from itself, her mind engaged in a series of circuit breakers that cut her power back to a level she could handle. But lately, someone or something has been releasing those breakers. There are almost none left. Jean's once more tapping near infinite power levels.
Is there nothing that we can do, Moira?
We can pray.
By
That's
the way,
exhausting.
there you go. Good job, by the way. But I will say, I mean, so happy to have like Roy and a Boyk. Absolutely. Thank you, Trevor. I love having Banshee back in, and his first thought is, would you like to go for a run? She says no. He says, let's then fool around. So great. Sean Cassidy, you're my new favorite X-Men.
I will say, though, I feel obligated that if anyone out there writes some Banshee Moira fan fiction,
Banshee,
I'm going to submit you and I as the voice.
This is like real, yeah.
Page after page of Banshee and McTaggart. Cassidy McTaggart scenes.
Cassidy McTaggart scenes. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Ooh, it is steamy.
Yeah. Second interlude here.
Mm-hmm.
Full moon lights the stark, rugged landscape of the Arizona desert along the Continental Divide. Man, Claremont. It's the witching hour, midnight, and the high-flying angel is indulging in a bit of exercise and masturbating in the sky.
Right. I love it up here. No one can see me do what I like to do. The sky always clears my head, restores my sense of perspective. It's my element, my true home at times like this. I hate having returned to Earth, but I do it all the same.
Just to talk about Angel's flight, it often looks so effortless for him to fly. And I try and think about like him exerting himself and what it must take. Of course, birds would use the equivalent of their shoulders, right, to flap their wings, and he would have to have a degree of muscle, and his wings would have to be able to like bear the weight of a 200-pound or 180-pound man. Like birds have hollow bones for a reason, so he must be such a powerful flyer. But I do love how he's always drawn so gracefully in the air. I just don't know how it works. I have no idea. Yeah, but the audiobook. Oh, what an incredible audiobook. Send us your scripts, people, and we'll put together those tapes.
Releasing this weekend at Fan Expo. The Cassidy McTaggart.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they should just be called Muir Isle.
Yeah.
As Warren Worthington III, retired X-Man, dives towards his mountaintop chalet, his falcon-keen eyes automatically sweep the surrounding countryside.
That made me think, by the way, like that. I mean, Falcon-keen Angel. That made me think that is his power set. Like I know it's just an over descriptor from Claremont, but it almost makes you think that he has bird powers.
Right. Well,
if you didn't know the character.
Right.
Because does he? I don't think he does, right?
No. Well, he has wings.
He has wings.
Obviously, which is bird. And he has keen eyesight, which is bird.
And he can regurgitate food to feed younger children.
So Angel, there's a couple of layers to this. One is like obviously that heroic like guardian angel, which is pretty self-explanatory. But also Marvel, formerly known as Atlas, formerly known as Timely, had a character in their stable known as Angel. And a lot of those 60s Marvel characters in name and sometimes in spirit are direct connections to the previous iterations of those those names and those trademarks. So is Stanley digging deep into the pool of names when he's coming up with who should be on the X-Men? Is it Kirby who's looking into the pool of characters? It doesn't really matter, but maybe they didn't have a good idea for a name of a bird character at the time, so they just went with the other motif that's right in front of your eyes. I do love this costume though, whether it's in the blue variant or the red.
Yeah, it does look pretty solid.
Those yellow boots, yellow gloves, and the red and white. I need an action figure of this. Yeah. Anyway, searching out for anything out of the ordinary, the merest hint of trouble, he's a little disappointed when he finds none. Awaiting him on the veranda is the X-Men's founder, their teacher and mentor, Professor Charles Xavier.
Evening, Professor. I guess I'm not the only case of insomnia tonight. Professor, you've been on edge. Sorry.
Okay.
You've been on edge ever since Cyclops took the X-Men to New York to confront the HELLFIRE Club. He left you behind. Is that what's bugging you?
He had good reason. If the team is following a false lead, then no harm's done. If they hit pay dirt and, heaven forbid, run into trouble, you'll be safe, free to carry on the fight. I should be with the X-Men, Angel, monitoring their progress, aiding them in the battle as I did with the original X-Men. I feel so helpless. I still cannot reestablish my mental rapport with the team. I won't know what's happening to them until it's too late. From the beginning, I've trained Cyclops to take my place as leader of the X-Men. But when that day finally came, I found I resented it and him. And that resentment caused me to make some terrible mistakes, Angel. I fear innocent people will suffer because of them. Ooh. 100% agree, by the way. This does not look like a Byrne-Austin combo. Is this one of those examples? I mean, the one above it does. The one where Angel's in there, that looks like totally a Byrne face. But that doesn't look like a Byrne drawing. I agree. It's passable. Like, it works in the book, but you maybe wonder if they tried something different and you went back to, like another round and someone in the house did it at the office. I wonder if this original page is out there. That's interesting, though, coming across that. When we get so used to characters and all of a sudden something is different. Maybe he tried too much shadow, like wanted to do one where he was all in kind of black on the face.
Yeah.
And then like had to dial it back, and they just, who knows? So you got to see the original to get those answers. Very interesting, though.
Totally.
Ominous words whose meaning will soon become apparent. But first, it's time to return to the HELLFIRE Club, where we find that institution's anniversary party, attended by some of the wealthiest, most influential power in America, if not the world, still going strong. By the way, there's a really neat thing coming up here where this is another example of Claremont setting up stories, sometimes even years in advance.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm talking about, by the way?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe not. I mean, does it involve a dumbwaiter? I always like that thing, but I doubt it has. I mean,
The Dumbwaiter Saga.
I get it. Also, great play by Harold Pinter, the dumbwaiter. Anyway, here we go.
How's the champagne holding out, Mary?
Better than my feet, Lou.
Can you do like a Harley Quinn? Better than my feet, Lou.
Oh, I think you just take that role. Go for it.
Sorry.
Keep going.
It took us a week to set up for this shindig, and it's going to take us a month to recover.
It's not Harley Quinn. Sorry.
Deliver this tray to Senator Kelly's party. We're supposed to give him special attention.
Kelly, the presidential candidate? I don't know he was a member of the club.
He isn't. He's Mr. Shaw's invited guest.
That's it. That's the energy we need. He isn't, Mary.
Mary and Lou. Get it?
Mary and
Lou?
Mary Lou.
That's so silly. So did you catch who's there?
Yeah, Kelly.
Right. You know who he is?
Oh yeah, right. That's Well, okay, so you're gonna have to. So Kelly, I remember from the animated series,
Perfect.
senator who tries to get the Sentinel program off the ground, right?
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that what's okay?
And in the movies, in X-Men 1, he's the guy
Oh
that
yeah, he turns into water.
he like a jellyfish kind of thing.
Yeah, is that what happens to him? He becomes a jellyfish.
Well, it's unclear.
Yeah, I never really described that.
He becomes so like gelatinous that maybe he does become a water entity, and then eventually he just turns to complete liquid.
Maybe he comes back.
Maybe, you know, he's that guy's dead. Anyway, so you've caught the reference in terms of the animated series, you know, and the movie.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't know where this is going in terms of the comic, but
Okay.
it's there. There is a president.
As long as Mary and Lou come back, I'm all good.
So now we know, like this name is out there, a presidential candidate who has connections to the Hellfire Club, politically, and there you go.
There you go.
Dad from Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh yeah, the actor who played the Kelly in the first X-Men movie.
Wasn't John Lithgow the dad in Harry and the Hendersons?
Lithgow was the dad in the TV show or the movie?
Movie.
There you go. Lithgow. There you go.
Yeah. So was there a TV show?
I thought there was a Harry and the Hendersons TV show.
Okay, this is something you guys can discuss in the chat. I'm moving on.
This is really important.
We got Wolverine and Dumbwaiter here. You guys can talk about Harry and the Hendersons. But yes, totally John Lithgow in the movie. All right. Sounds like the coast is clear. About time too. Main floor, everybody out. I love it when he uses like elevator humor while he's gonna go murder some people. Using this dumbwaiter to get out of the basement wasn't a bad idea. That way, I'll bypass all the guards. There's a time for scrapping, and there's a time for being sneaky. Either way, Wolverine's the best there is.
Either way, third person's always the best way to talk about it.
I love it. I love the colors of his costume. He looks so good.
He does. I also like that's the there's a fig is the ruined outfit, like getting the hair, you know, that he's been blown up in the middle. That's cool.
Yeah, this would be midriff Wolverine.
Wolverine.
You know, just to talk the talk, this is often on a point of articulation on a lot of figures.
Okay.
So it might be troublesome to, like, it requires some interesting sculpting, but still worth it. I agree with you. And the Wolverine figures that have been put out lately have been, they often contain alternate parts that have battle damage. So one of the ones that I have here, he has mask with like chunks missing. And you can see that parts of hair that come through, and it's neat. Battle damage Wolverine, I think, is like a staple to me of Wolverine's state of being.
Confirmed. Bruce Davison, the actor who played Senator Kelly in the X-Men movie, played the dad on the Harry and the Hendersons TV series, George Henderson, from 1991 to 1993.
How many episodes?
Ooh, I've got
I'm already
72.
That's remarkable.
Right? Seems to be pretty remarkable. Anyway.
Moving on.
That goon I questioned wasn't much help. So I've been following Nightcrawler's scent because he's a stinky, stinky elf. I'm starting to pick up traces of the other X-Men as well. Trouble is, they're leading me up to the second floor, and my dumbwaiter don't go that high. Dumbwaiter problems with Wolverine. No stairways in this hall. The only way I'm gonna get upstairs is by cutting straight across this dance floor. What dance move can I do to blend in?
Looks like Wolverine's got to bust a move, Canadian style.
And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that without making a fuss. I would love it if there was like one where Wolverine was trying to like,
jitterbugging across the floor.
Dance across the floor. That'd be hilarious. You're welcome, Jason. You're dead accurate on your Senator Kelly, Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah. I wasn't doubting you. I just wasn't aware of the show. But there you go. I like when you're right. It makes me happy. But nobody said you were wrong. Don't forget that. Don't get defensive.
Freeze, sucker.
Whoops. And like, I don't believe that, by the way, that Wolverine's gonna get snuck up on.
No, that was a weird one. But
But it's okay.
yeah, I guess if we're establishing those pieces, but yes, right would
It's just
rarely
for
get
page turn, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're more vivacious and exciting than your predecessor, the White Queen. I like that.
I'm glad, Squire Leland. I like you.
Gross. So gross. Jean's flirting with them all.
Would you
Mastermind's
like
giving
to
her-
see me eat pudding?
Mastermind's given her the instincts of a minx. But I daren't think about that. I got to focus on the job at hand. Nothing else. If I can just reach Jean through our private rapport, maybe I can shatter the time slip illusion Mastermind has created, even though I'm wearing this gimp mask. Maybe she'll start a OnlyFans account and I can make some money on the side with a Venmo. It's a long shot, Cyclops knows. An all or nothing Gambit. First appearance of Gambit, but he has no alternative. For a long time, to Cyclops, an eternity, nothing happens. And then, the face mask. It's gone. I'm wearing my visor again. I can see. My gamble's paying off. Regarding Wolverine dancing across the room, he's got to cut a rug.
Get a rug.
I tip my hat to you, Trevor.
Mic drop.
Either that or I'm going crazy. I'm not Jean or Professor X. I've never tried a stunt like this before. For all I know, I could be imagining everything. This is, by the way, John Byrne's favorite panel to draw. No backgrounds, right? So it's so much faster. You whip this one out quick. And the choice also to have no panel border.
Mm-hmm.
Choice. Excellent. Very good. I've got to think positively. No way my imagination can come up with a place as weird as this. It's called the Matrix, dude. The room, the others have disappeared. I must be on what Jean calls the astral plane. I've made it this far. I hope. But where do I go from here? What?
Ooh.
My clothes. They call it a uniform. It isn't a uniform unless people all wear it. It's like one form, right? That's what the word means.
Uniform, right? Yeah.
It's a costume or whatever. But anyway, my clothes. What? My uniform's changed into some sort of Revolutionary War outfit. That door appearing out of nowhere. It's the entrance to the HELLFIRE Club. Snapping Jean out of Mastermind spell isn't going to be as easy as I thought. She's making me conform to the bogus 18th century reality of her time slips. I didn't anticipate his control of her would be so complete. Still, Jean Grey is the woman I love. I'm the man she loves. That has to count for something. There she is. She's dressed as the Black Queen. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Jean, it's me.
Do I know you, sir? Your voice is strangely familiar, but your garb makes you out as an American rebel. King George's enemy and mine.
Try to remember. I'm Scott Summers. Sorry. We're
okay.
lovers. You and I. We're X-Men.
You're wasting your time, boy. Neither you nor your precious X-Men mean anything to my lady wife. You like that, huh?
He also has a horse wife. He also has, different wives. This is his lady wife.
This is my lady wife. Be gone from this place, sirrah, or my husband will cut you down where you stand.
Mastermind. This is impossible. Mastermind has no psi powers. Psi powers. He casts sophisticated illusions, nothing more. How could he have learned of Jean's and my rapport? That is an awkward way to describe it, but yes. More importantly, how did he take control of it? I have no choice. If I'm to free Jean, I have to fight him. on his turf, on his terms. Neat how Cyclops also, like, his hat casts a shadow.
Yeah, over the eyes.
Over the eyes to give him, to maintain that, the look of his uniform.
But his bow is red in the back of his hair, which is...
Well, it matches his belt and visor, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, very cute. Ooh, you got the double. See, on mine, they're separated. I didn't get the full page spread. So this is neat. I'm just now looking at the 2-page spread on the screen. I like, again, like that top left corner of the whole thing being that open panel. Yeah, really, these are quick pages for Byrne and Austin to go through without some intense backgrounds. Scott says, I just finished inking a scene in a used bookstore, realizing now I should have said it in the astral plane.
Yeah.
Totally. A little of Matt Berry in that Wingard voice.
Jason, you nailed it. That's exactly who I'm trying to ape for Jason Wingard.
My same self, lady wife. Oh, the lady wife. On guard, Sir James.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I should have used that today on the post.
Your lady wife?
No, on guard, Sir Jason.
Oh ho! The stripling bares his fangs and imitates the action of the tiger. Poor boy, you've played right into my hands. I've known of your precious rapport from the moment it was established. I knew you'd try to reach Jean through it. In fact, I was counting on you doing precisely that.
But how? You've never possessed these kind of psychic powers.
Let that remain my secret, Cyclops. When I slay you in the duel, your rapport, Jean Grey's final link with the X-Men, and the virtuous life she once led, will be severed. Then she will truly be mine, body and soul. Together we shall rule first the HELLFIRE Club, and then the world.
The odds in this duel are in Mastermind's favor. He knows how to use a sword. I don't.
Very nice move, Cyclops. Switching sword hands like that, trying to throw me off balance. You may be a novice, but you learn quickly. Unfortunately, not quickly enough to save you.
I went for broke that time, and he parried my attack easily. He's toying with us. Positive he can kill me whenever he feels like it. And I'm afraid he may be right. At this point, let's return to Wolverine and the Guard. Now back to Wolverine and the Guard.
Yeah, Wolverine and the Guard. Welcome back to
Starring
Wolverine.
Norman Fell as Zeus.
Exactly. Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon as Wolverine.
And the
Walter
Guard.
Matthau as the Guard. Hands on your head, fella, and no fast moves or ow!
Bub, where fast moves are concerned, you don't know the meaning of the words. Now I gotta cut a rug, do the dance.
Oh my goodness.
Too good.
Great, the crowd's already spooked. This ought to panic him for sure. Maybe I can turn that to my advantage.
Oh, watch out!
Keep calm, folks. Stay out of my way and you won't get hurt.
Back, everyone, back. Let security handle this. Another costume maniac? What's happening here? Where's the Secret Service? At all costs, Senator Kelly must be protected. Hold it,
That's funny.
hold it, mister. This is as far as you go. Come peaceably, little man, or in pieces, your choice.
You want me, bub? Then come and get me.
And they do. My goodness.
They just beat on him.
Yeah. Well, like there's a good line here, right?
If you can. I'd better cool it with my claws against these bozos.
Like that idea, right? That I'm not going to pull my claws.
They might be the inner circle mercenaries, but they might also be legit club employees or rent-a-cops or even Secret Service. Carving up would create more hassles than it solves.
Like I like the fact he's thinking through, like, yeah, these might just be other people. Like, might not be equal, just doing their job. Sure. And that one punch, that guy's jaw, like underneath. He might not ever wake up, actually.
He now has no job. He now is drinking out of a straw the rest of his life.
It's very possible. The odds against Wolverine start out bad and quickly get worse.
and he soon disappears beneath a veritable avalanche of costume club-wielding bodies. Which, by the way, disappearing beneath a veritable avalanche of costume club-wielding bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the fantasies you can select on Bone Grinder.
Bone Grinder. Coming this Fan Expo, Bone Grinder.
While on the astral plane.
Yeah, if you think you're coming to get comics at our table at Fan Expo, we have such a surprise for you. Apps, fan fiction, no comics.
While on the astral plane, his consciousness suspended between his mind and genes, Scott Summers isn't I almost said farting. Isn't faring much better. No matter how hard I try, Mastermind keeps pushing me back on the defensive. The mental strain is terrific. It's affecting my astral form like physical fatigue. I'm tiring, slowing down while Mastermind is as fast, as sure of himself as ever. Suddenly, my sword!
If I were a chivalrous man, Cyclops, I would allow you to surrender. But I am not chivalrous. And our duel was to the death.
I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Awesome. And good on the colorist, too. Like starting out with all the full magenta and then fading out to something lighter and ending in kind of a gasp.
Totally.
Very cool. And I like how the lettering was placed in that last panel. Like it goes around his back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
Totally.
Nice duel.
You are a noble, valiant foe, Cyclops, as a hero could hope to be. But in this case, the best man won. My friend, what happened?
Cyclops was all right a moment ago, and then he gave a great cry and collapsed.
He lies so still, Storm. Colossus, his chest isn't moving. He isn't breathing. Cyclops is dead.
Next, Too Late, the Heroes. A prologue to disaster. My goodness.
Wow.
Yes, and then just to comment quickly, like right over there on the right, the on sale now Captain America, like a Jack Kirby inked by John Romita Sr. drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So different and so out of time compared to the Byrne and Austin of this issue. Like it's just another era completely. That's like a remnants of a world gone. Yeah, very, very fun. Holy Gamboli. Looking forward to the Group of 7 leatherware at Fan Expo. Oh my goodness. Available now.
We did have someone at the last Fan Expo we were at. It was no, I'm just saying. Do you remember her name is anyway, she showed up with her father. Her father, who's like the older gentleman who's a big fan of the books, and like he like came, right. So she designs her own costumes and jewelry and stuff. And she had said at the time, I still remember that she's like, she really loves like the webbing and the turtlenecks. And so anyway, she was like, one day we're like, please do it, make it happen. You know, come in cosplay.
Yes, I do remember. And I didn't want to articulate that I was hoping that was going to happen. But of course, I'm hoping that that's going to happen. If we were ever to see somebody show up in any kind of Group of 7 cosplay, that would be adorable, and it'd be heartwarming for me. Harry's lower half is kind of disturbing there.
Would you like me to watch me eat pudding?
Leland and his little legs there. You know, it's weird. With you and the pudding, where did that come from, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know. She was like flirting with him, and I was like, how gross can we make this? And he's like, oh, well, I don't know.
It is really, I agree with you. It is
gross.
Disturbing. I feel like I've had an action figure with those proportions in my hands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with only waist articulation. Or sorry, no, I mean like upper leg, like just like a 5 POA. But I'm having trouble thinking about what figure this could possibly be. But those like chunky legs, and yeah, it'll come to me another time. I'm not sure what I'm thinking of, but I feel like this is gross. I feel like I've had my hands on that form. So just to talk, you know, as we do.
Pudding.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from.
Pudding.
the backup
Mm.
in this.
Oh.
If anyone can recognize this penciler.
No.
Well, this is really, really early on.
Is it?
No, it's okay.
Is it Mignola?
Okay, I'm so glad you say that.
Okay.
Because I've always thought there were some interesting similarities in some of their styles, at least in this early time period. But this is Jim Lee.
Oh, Jim Lee. There you go.
This is 1989, and Jim Lee comes on X-Men really in issue 243, which I think is September. And this issue comes out. It says it's November, but I don't actually know which one actually hit the stands first. But this is super early Jim Lee on X-Men, but you wouldn't think that he's doing an issue in classic X-Men or a backup. But he is. And a lot of the drawings do not look like Jim Lee because it's, inked by someone else. It's inked by Joe Rubenstein, who I believe is going to be at Fan Expo.
I believe he is going to be at Fan Expo.
And so Joe Rubenstein being like a, kind of classic house style inker, for us, best known for the Wolverine Limited series and all sorts of just, regular Marvel work. But not he's not a pen guy so much as a brush guy. So a lot of the lines don't match what we eventually think of as Jim Lee art. But yeah, this is a story where X-Men are doing stuff. I did not read it. I'm looking at it now. There's a mutant that goes to bug Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine. And Wolverine is like a Jim Lee Wolverine with his proportions, and Colossus is massive. And there's some like classic really early Jim Lee stuff in here. Like, I don't know, like Wolverine being all Wolverine-y.
No, yeah, sure.
Right? Like that's looks like he's channeling Art Adams a little, for sure. Like, but you see, like, that's a Jim Lee pose, right?
Right.
Lots of neat stuff in here, though. Again, really cool to see early, like, Wolverine and Storm there, like early Jim Lee. I mean, this is so essentially Jim Lee. But I do like, I see Mignola in there too.
Okay.
There's something about that early work of his where I think I've always thought there was something at his best, maybe some of the stuff I liked best about his work, where it was like Mignola. But anyway, interesting stuff.
Totally.
My goodness, these issues. And then full of ads at the back. Oh, and a Police Academy.
Which one?
Police Academy 1. It's like a comic book that was coming out.
Oh. It
looks like it would be pretty terrible, of course. I don't know. I'm going to move away from that. It's definitely well into the night here, 10:38. We've been going for a good hour 40. Before we end, anything you want to cover? Did you read ahead? No. Did you like this issue?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I thought the setup might be an entire Wolverine issue,
right?
And it's only maybe 25 to 30% of it. They still have they might even be more Cyclops in this issue than Wolverine.
Agreed.
So the setup's a bit of a letdown that way, in the sense where I was looking for. I mean, that opening scene, I wanted more of that, but him going through the club, like level by level, to get to that would have been, I think, really cool. But there's so many, to your point, there's so many iconic moments that come out of this, like Wolverine just killing people, Wolverine talking about the best that he is, the healing factor. Wolverine
using a dumbwaiter,
right? It'll be fun to see, from this point on, now that we've established that that's what he's going to be doing. See more of it. Yeah.
So I think we're also seeing a bit of a trend. Remind me, how many issues was the Proteus story?
3.
Okay, so this one is 3 as well, right? Okay. This was the middle issue, where we're now entering like the third act, right? Because things are at their worst. X-Men are captured. Yeah. Wolverine's beaten by bunch of dudes with clubs, and Cyclops is dead. So we're definitely at the bottom of the end of the second act, start of the third act. So each issue kind of covers that. But I would have also loved a all-out Wolverine issue where the X-Men are imprisoned longer, and we just see him going through. Maybe like you get the interludes of Angel and Xavier, and of course the British Isles. But the rest of the issue is Wolverine making his way through that mansion, and more of the stealth and figuring stuff out. Maybe even a couple flashbacks, like for his training, like him younger or whatever. Or like,
maybe him using the bathroom in the Hellfire Club
and not flushing.
Right, something like terrible. Right, he's like, "Hey, upper decker," because Wolverine's the best there is at what he does.
Oh yes, definitely. And then
but it's like Shaw's private bathroom. Like he finds himself
right, and then it's like the crew that goes and like, Murray, get the plunger.
Yeah. Hey, Angelo. God, where are those two numbskulls when you need them? Like, dead.
That would have been great. Like, I would agree with you. A full Wolverine issue felt like that's what they were setting up.
Yeah,
and I only feel partially satisfied with the result. I know it is a team book, but it was called Wolverine Alone.
It was.
And we didn't get Wolverine Alone.
Yeah.
So I wonder if like what the editorial decision was, if it's a Chris Claremont and Byrne decision, but this idea of like these 3-issue arcs, 2 issues against Arcade, 3 issues against Proteus, and now 3 issues against. Oh, and was it 2 as well against the White Queen? I think it was 2.
I think it was. Yeah.
So it's like they're getting these little arcs, and it's neat how it's building to whatever it's building toward. Because not like you don't know because you haven't read ahead, but maybe you should start reading ahead, buddy.
What and ruin the surprise?
Ruin your surprise.
Tuesday evening at 9:00.
Yeah, I'm looking back to see how many issues there are. Yeah, the White 131. It says 130 and 131. But what was 129? No, it was a 3-issue.
Okay.
It was the first issue. 129 is like a little bit of the respite, and they're headed back to Westchester, and they go meet Kitty Pryde. They go, and there's a whole bunch of Wingard stuff. They go to meet Kitty Pryde. They have that interaction, and that ends. And the next issue, they meet Dazzler. So you get those first appearances one after the other.
Yeah.
And then the third issue is like where Kitty's on the run, and she's gets the X-Men involved, and they defeat White Queen by the end. So it's 3 issues of Proteus, 3 issues of White Queen, now 3 issues of the Hellfire Club. So it's we're seeing like these patterns emerge where they're trying longer form storytelling, and then we're going to see what comes next as we continue with the Dark Phoenix Saga. And next week on Tuesday at 9 p.m. we'll do the same thing for issue 134, which will be very exciting. In the meantime, where can people find us?
Geez. Multiple places. If you want to see us in person, hey, this weekend we're going to be at Fan Expo Canada down at the Metro Toronto Convention Center, Thursday through till Sunday. That's in person. But hey, online, group7comics.ca, number 7, and at the socials at Group of 7 Comics. We're going to be debuting our new book, Fan Expo. There it is. Well, that's
the cover.
There's the cover of the book. Picking it up tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Printer. So there you go. Nothing like last minute. That's what all indie artists do before their shows.
Well, you also get issue 7.
Yeah, 7. We got 2 standalones, including Londinium, and most recent, as well as the obstacle course. Got the trade for Group of 7. Oh, geez, Prince. Jay, I know you're working on something special. The fourth Group of 7 Comics homage print.
Almost
Look at that. Number 4.
I'm gonna finish this now and then then color it.
And we can't wait to see some of you there, just to hang out, talk comics, just see you guys in person, support you guys. Can't wait for that.
Big time. I'm super excited. I look forward to this all year, truthfully.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. So
good stuff, Chris.
Yeah, man.
Nice to hang with you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Enjoy the fresh air and waters of Lake Huron.
Thank you. Lady Huron, as I call her.
Good night, everybody. I hope everyone's
Nice.
doing well, and we'll see y'all soon.
All
Cheers.
right.
Have a great night.
night.